Woo! What a game,
Wow.
man. How you doing, Pop?
I'm all right, I guess.
Craziness,
That
craziness.
just
The,
was wild.
the margins were razor thin. At the end of the day, the Commanders did end up losing in an overtime thriller, 27 to 26 to the Broncos. It's the second straight overtime loss, which I didn't realize that actually until we went to overtime. I went, oh yeah, that's right. We were in overtime last week. But heck of a game, man. Just wild. I mean, it's just complete craziness, just from start to finish.
Well, it's I was thinking about it because full disclosure, I started typing the outline up the fourth quarter, and I had us losing as I was typing the outline because we were down, and I just kind of figured that's how it was going to end up. And we get it to overtime on a great drive where we got screwed by the refs. We'll get into that.
Twice.
We'll get into that in a little bit. Um, and you know, they did enough to win. I mean, that's what you can actually say, or at least tie. They did enough to tie.
Yeah.
We decided to go for two, which I think both of us agree was the right call. The play was there. I mean, just
Yeah.
their guy, I think, made a great play. And
That's exactly what my
McNichols running
takeaway was.
wide
Like,
open,
at
crazy.
first I'm like, how do you get a free rusher at Mariota? And then I watched because it happened so fast live and you're nervous, you're not seeing clearly. I watched the replay and I go, oh, that's the design. And you could say that, Mariota should put more air on that ball, but at the end of the day, which I think is probably true, but at the end of the day, I mean, Bonito just made an incredible play. And
Look,
that's the bottom line is their guys can make plays too, and sometimes
so
it's that simple.
there's gonna be angry Commander fans because there's always somebody that's angry out there. That was a brilliantly coached game. That was a brilliantly prepared team against the top team in the AFC, one of the top two teams in the AFC. I mean, great defense. They did everything we talked about in our keys. He got the ball out of his hands quick. Um, it was a great effort by the
Yeah,
team.
I mean they ran the ball incredibly well. You had McNichols got busy, Rodriguez got busy. Rodriguez was kind of the lead back today. Um, but then even Bill came in as kind of a change of pace role in the second quarter, did well with the touches that he got.
Yep.
Um, Mysterious as to why he's kind of completely disappeared, but neither here nor there. The guys played great tonight at the end of the day. I mean,
They all
I
had
think it's
similar
been
yards per carry. Actually, Bill had the best yards per carry of the backs. Nichols, they both were five, averaging five. Rodriguez was 3.7, but I think he had some short yardage stuff
yeah,
in
short
there.
yardage
But
situations.
no, yeah, the run game was. I mean, the offensive line was impressive because I
Yeah.
really thought for the most part they gave Mariota time to throw. They got the run game going. 143 yards on the ground. 55 of that's Mariota, but even still, I thought it was a gutsy performance by Mariota.
Yeah, all
Um,
things considered, great performance. I mean, at the end of
yeah,
the day,
he
you got your
keeps
backup
fighting.
quarterback taking maybe the best defense in the NFL to overtime on Sunday Night Football, put up 27 points. I mean, you figure technically 26, but they're going to kick that extra point most of the time. Like he's legit, man. I got nothing but respect for Mariota after tonight.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is Terry McLaurin good at football?
Yeah, the offense is night and day with him on the field. Night and
It's
day. It's
incredible.
unbelievable. It's like we really forgot, man. Like it's pretty wild. Like we, you know, I saw like midway through the third. I mean, he ended with 97 for 96, but at one point he had 4 for 54. And I went, really? That's it? It feels like he's been everywhere tonight because every single time you need a catch, every single time you need a play, every single time you need a moment, Terry McLaurin is there. And I mean, they took away another 40 on a holding call that, by the letter of the law, is holding, but was very ticky tack, in my opinion.
It was ticky tack.
Um, and I will say that it is. not uncommon, but maybe strange to see that called in that situation. Usually, late in games, refs are trying to swallow the whistle. These refs clearly were dying for screen time late in the game. I am glad that at the end of the day, it didn't come down to that.
They deuced themselves. They
That
deuced
being
themselves.
said, you do wonder if we had another 20 seconds on the clock that we lost off two BS 10-second runoffs. If we had another 20 seconds on the clock, maybe you can go for a touchdown in regulation. You do wonder that.
You'd sure like to have that option.
Yeah. And to what was shocking to me was you got the guy I have never, and I think it's Terry McCauley's on Sunday Night Football. They rotate these guys. I can't keep
Yeah, I
up.
think that's right.
Um, I have never in my life watched a broadcast and heard the guy who's basically there to be a league stooge. Let's call it what it is. The ref in the commentary booth who says, "Oh, he's there to defend the league." Let's call a spade here. I have never heard him say that's not the right call, and he didn't even take a breath. He goes, "That is not intentional grounding by the letter of the law. Here is exactly why." And so my question to the NFL, and this is probably why they don't do it, because now you're going to have a bunch of fans asking this. My question to the NFL, if he can call Chris Collinsworth and say, that's not intentional grounding, why can't somebody call the ref and say, that's not intentional grounding? You effed up. Well, where is the.
Well, I mean, this is our kickouts of the game. So we'll just, since we're on a roll and we don't want to repeat it later, we'll just declare it the kickouts of the game because the awards are back today, people, because we played a football game. We played a
Yeah,
football game in prime time. We played a football game that we can be really proud of. And
yes.
there are no moral victories. It's a seven straight loss. But these last two games have definitely been moving in the right direction, right? And
We're 3-9. There's some moral victories. This one was a moral victory.
I think
I'll
so. I
take it.
mean, it's they, like they did enough to win the game. It was
Yep.
a fingernail, that was the difference. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that the one that drove me the most crazy, and I know it's the rule by the letter of the law, but they call Mariota down by contact on a trip. I mean, can the ref in the sky either say, look, don't reverse it because the way he got taken down was illegal, or call the trip? Like,
Yeah.
and I know
And
they
I
can't do it because it's not a reversible call, but why aren't all calls reversible?
Well, I understand. So, devil's advocate, I understand the concept of, and they said it on the broadcast, is once you open Pandora's box, how much further can you look into it? So, if on that play, for example, there was a pass interference somewhere down the field, now do you want the refs watching every DB and making sure the coverage? No, right? I understand that, but if it's the thing that's being reversed, like imagine if he got tackled by his face mask, if they had touched him on the face mask.
Yeah, he's
If
down by
it's an
contact
illegal play,
illegally. It has
yeah,
to mean something.
yeah,
He was down
that's,
by illegal contact.
yeah,
Like it's,
I
and
think it's,
again, whatever. It's just so stupid.
yeah,
Whether the refs made the right call in that situation or not, I'm not making the argument. It's just dumb. And then, you've got the false start by Terry on the last drive, which wasn't a false start. You said
yeah,
it. Terry McCullen, or however you say his name, said it. You talked about the intentional grounding. I mean, those two plays on the last drive cost us 20 seconds off the clock.
yeah. They cost you a
That's
timeout and a 20-second
that's
runoff.
three more chances at the end zone to win the game. That's three more chances. So, and the way we were moving the ball, you saw what they did in overtime. I mean,
Well, and not
they
only is
scored
that three
three.
more
They
chances, but
essentially almost scored three touchdowns in overtime because it was they did, because Terry, the bomb to Terry, which you said was a ticky tack holding call.
yeah,
Zach Ertz, the ball hits him in his hands. He had an amazing game, so not taking anything away from Zach. Ball hits
ball's
him
a
in
little
the
high.
hands, and he drops. And then, if we finally get the touchdown with Terry McLaurin, who was
Yeah,
incredibly deserving of that. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty good chance if we got those 20 seconds, we finish that drive. I
yeah, and
really
then
do.
We're
You
here
know,
celebrating a win. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the football gods looked out for us. The tank is alive and well, heading for that top five draft pick, right? But goodness gracious, man. I mean, it does start to feel like this team is just snake bitten.
I think they're going to
I
win.
think
So I hate to break it to you. I think they're going to win some games down the
I hope
stretch.
they do. I hope they do. I
They're
really hope
turning
they
this
do.
thing around. You can see it.
Um, and
Yeah.
I think ultimately, like to me, it is more important. The draft pick sounds great, but how many times do you draft a guy in the top 10 and he sucks? Like it just happens, you know. So it sounds great to get that higher draft pick. I think you'd love to get the higher draft pick, but at the same point, like it's just not for me. I would rather see what I saw tonight, even if it ends in a win. I'd much rather see what I saw tonight
But
because
where it click,
at the end of the day, it's these guys' job to go win games, and they're gonna go out there and they're gonna try to
I
win
always
games.
want them to win.
And
I
it's
mean, if
not
it's week
like
18, that's
sure,
fine. Sit
sure,
everybody. I don't care. But at this stage of the season, I always want them to do exactly what they did tonight,
yeah.
which is
And that for
battle.
me is the most
And that's a really good football team. Bo Nix can play ball. He threw
ball
for
player,
over 300 yards. He had one bonehead play, but he made a
as
heck
did
of a lot of
Marcus.
really good. He had a lot, yeah. He made a lot of great plays all night long. So that was just a heck of a battle against a heck of a football team. And it just, what I was going to say is we're a clickbaity, I don't know, reactionary thing because everybody can get on Twitter and tweet and everyone can react. Everyone can do a podcast, but not as good as ours. Um, but what I was going to say is, what I see today and what we saw in California. So this team has got its best players on the field. This is a good football team. I
Yeah,
believe we are a good football team that's been devastated by injuries. And, all the slander against AP and all the slander against Dan Quinn and all the frustration, I get it. There's been a lot of really embarrassing moments through the season. He waited too long to pull the trigger on Joe Witt,
ugh,
but he sure as hell showed that he can coach some football these last 2 weeks and
yeah,
he can coach some defense and he's going to need to figure that out. I know, it's another off season conversation, but man, he can coach defense and he can inspire this team, and that's a heck of an effort from a team that's got very little to play for.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, leader in the clubhouse for me.
standing wise, you should
Yeah,
always have something to play for.
no, you're right. I mean, for me, leading in the clubhouse for defensive coordinator next year is Dan Quinn.
Yeah,
Just I don't. This is clearly the configuration that this team works best in. I think. I think Jaden doing what Jaden did last year covered up for all the deficiencies, and we got all the bounces. We've been over it, but I think this is the configuration that this team needs to operate in defensively.
Cliff called a hell of a game too, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
yep.
you can always nitpick a call here or there, you know, in
I
every
just hate
game.
those Wildcat.
I don't
No
like him
more of that.
either, but I think the way, we knew he's got to get the ball out of his hands quick. He only got sacked twice.
Yeah,
You know, um, they were flashing the stat about how quickly he was getting the ball out of his hands. We were moving the ball on the best defense in the league still without our starting quarterback.
yep. I
I
think you win
mean,
that game with Jaden. I think you win that game probably pretty handsomely with Jaden. There were a few moments. I think that 2 point conversion he probably gets. Like there are just a few.
well, he probably can beat that defender, right? That's one
Yeah,
thing that I thought was like
keeps
at
them
that
honest.
point,
You got to stay on your feet.
I think the move for Mariota, rather than trying to force that ball, is to just try to beat the defender. Yeah, I mean it's 1-on-1 at that point, right?
Yeah, but you're
But
thinking the whole time. You're thinking, please God, let that guy come free at me because McNichols is still running if he does.
yeah,
So it's
that's fair. That's fair.
the guy made an incredible
He
play.
made a
I
great
mean,
play.
it's like hitting a home run and somebody dives over the wall to catch it. It's like you did your
I
job.
agree.
Like, what are you gonna do? Um,
I think we can be
but
happy with our football team tonight.
I think,
I
and that's
mean,
the main takeaway for me is I think like at the end of the day, the team looked like the team, and it's frustrating to lose. Like, don't get me wrong. Like a lot of the guys in the group chat talking about like, oh, you know what, we had fun and we got the draft pick, and I'm like, I need 24-hour break from draft pick talk. I'm pissed we lost, and I still feel that way overall. But it's like at the end of the day, man, you gotta if you zoom out, you put it all in perspective. This is totally lost. I mean, I did end up making it home for the start of the game, but I went out and played golf before the game today, and I was like, yeah, if I missed the first drive, I missed the first drive, whatever. Like, this is a totally lost season, and to see the guys play like it's not that, and take the approach of no, 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 we're not that bad. We have something to prove. Let's turn this thing around. I thought was encouraging. So I'm excited to
Well, that's what you
watch
want
the
to
rest of
see.
the year.
You want to get encouraged for next year,
Yeah,
right? That's what
that's
you
all
want
we
to
can
feel.
get
You
at
want to
this
feel
point.
that as your healthy guys come back, you can play games like this and you can compete, and that it had much more to do with the injuries than anything else, right?
Yeah,
And I do think I don't think we're in a blow it all up situation. You know, I think the offensive line is really, really good. We've got at least a, um, viable running back room, right? Maybe you want to add one spectacular guy. When we came back with those three guys, I wouldn't feel terrible. So we know we've got to add some more talent at receiver overall. But I don't think the offense, if you can keep five healthy, is very far away. And yeah, defensively there's a lot of work to do, but you can put a lot of your resources in getting that defense, getting some talent on the defensive side of the football. So it's a loss. It stinks. I was really hoping that going to overtime second week in a row we'd pull this one out. I guess it was just a little bit too much to ask for, But I know those guys in that Broncos locker room know that they faced a really good football team because I think we got their best shot, and that's what
yeah,
makes us even more impressive, right?
yep, yeah. I think it was two teams playing at the top of what they're capable of, and one team had all their starters, and the other team didn't, and we were a point shy. So at the end of the day, what can you do, man? A good effort by the boys in prime time. At the end of the day, the biggest takeaway, I think we've maybe buried the lead a little bit, just talking about all the specific plays, but just like competitive, competent football. No shooting ourselves in the foot. The flags we did see were BS. Like very just competitive, competent football. That's all we've wanted to see all year. We've been wondering where in God's name it was for the last 7 weeks now. So it's just good to see that whole thing turn around, and I'm excited to see how we can build as the season goes on against maybe a team like Minnesota, against a team like New York, against a team like Dallas that might be a little more gettable. And especially, I would like to, with the effort we saw from the other 52 tonight, with Jaden on the field, he could beat anybody.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
you're missing your two starting defensive ends and your two starting cornerbacks, which are the most important positions on defense. So,
yeah, I'm not going to get overconfident that you know, seven straight losses at the end of the day. I mean, the last two were in overtime. They were both
sure.
games we could have won. I
I
think
said
we
with
were.
the effort you gave
I
today. I don't know
agree.
that we're going to
Agree. No,
consistently
no, I'm
give
not.
that performance,
You
but
said it perfectly.
yeah,
But I think they can compete with anybody. I mean, this is a Broncos team that beat the Eagles. This is a Broncos team that beat the Chiefs. It's a really good football team, and against you know the best defense in the league. We move the ball. We
yep,
move the ball effectively. Mariota had a pretty bad INT in scoring position. I think that's the differences between his interception and Bo Nix's interception is that we were in scoring position and it was really just a
yeah,
mysterious decision. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be proud of. I think we get to the awards. It is an award worthy game. We already did our kickots. Let's talk awards here.
yeah. It's good to talk awards finally, man. So the kickouts of the game was obviously the refs. Already said that. We usually do that with the awards, but today we're just going to leave it in the earlier segment. But getting into the awards, finally, as Pop said, an award-worthy game. We're going co-sauce award for Zach Ertz, 10 catches, 106 yards, and Terry McLaurin, 7 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. in overtime. That touchdown was his second touchdown, by the way. His first one got called back. Second one in overtime. And I tell you what,
First
I
one was
couldn't
vintage
believe
terror.
when I saw this catch, which we'll talk about in a second, and I saw the one, I couldn't believe there wasn't a seven after that. But yeah, can't understand how good it is to have Terry back. Zach Ertz, man, what a player. He just, yes, he's a step slower than he was last year. And last year, he was probably already 3 steps slower than he was in his prime. But you know what? The guy was the only consistent thing that moved the ball offensively today, aside from Terry. He was the consistent pass catcher, the consistent weapon. He stepped up as wide receiver too. And he's,
Gets open. He gets open.
yeah, that's all you got. He's reliable, man. He's Mr.
Yeah.
Reliable. He's reliably a yard short of the first down marker, but he's Mr. Reliable.
He's
Um,
yeah, he's not gonna beat anybody with his speed. But I have to start not only just the great game. I mean, 10 catches, 106 yards. I can't remember last time he had a game like that in his career. Um, but to check that afterwards. Um, uh, but you know, he just had a heck of a ball game, and he just talk about just
yeah.
putting everything you can. I'm so happy that we got that touchdown with Terry, so that his drop
Mhm.
didn't turn out to be, because people would have latched on to that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that that's not the case.
And
And
to
Terry,
call,
I mean, just what a player.
I
I know
love
I've been
him.
his biggest fan, biggest defender for the longest time. All that, all that you folks that have put hate on him, I don't know. Seek psychiatric help, please. Because there's something else going on in your life that you want to be unhappy about
Well said.
because he's just such a great player.
It's
And
misplaced.
I say that with all the love in my heart. I really do. But
It's
I,
misplaced frustration because
yeah, that's true.
you're frustrated that he's hurt and that he's not available and that he's not playing and you want to put it on him, but it's not his
I'm,
fault that he got
I'm,
hurt. And
I'm kidding a little bit.
yeah,
Everyone, fans have their opinions, and that's fine. But there's
but
obviously some pent up frustration.
yeah, he's a baller though, man. He's a baller. Hopefully we can keep him healthy this year. We get another healthy season from him next year. Going helmet stickers wise, you gotta you gotta give Marcus Mariota a shout out. You
Yeah,
just have to. I don't know if Pop can maybe pull up the stats while I'm rapping about him, but just I mean, the guy. I was texting Pop during the game, and I was wrong. I said, he's not clutch. He gets tight. He squeezes it in the big moment, and there's just nothing more false about what he was capable of than tonight. He was just completely cool, calm, collected, made the throws when he needs to make them gutsy. If you watch that game, well, aside from one play, if you watch that game, never having watched football before, you would think the guy was, well, and he was. You would think he's a first round draft pick and he was, a vet. And that's how he played. I mean, he
he was
had
clutch tonight.
50 50 pass attempts, which is just nuts. 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, and he had 10 rushes for 55 yards. And just always, he made the right play at the right moments, aside from that jump pass, which was heinous. That was probably
He
kick
just
outs
got
of the
lost.
game.
He just got lost in that play. He was just
There's,
he
I
was
mean,
lost.
it was
Yeah,
like
it
somebody pressed the wrong button in Madden. Like it was just like
was a great line.
what in the world? Like what was it? He like ran forward. It wasn't even like press the wrong button. It was like he sneezed and he like pushed the stick and hit a button. Like he ran forward into the rush, jumped up and threw it into a sea of orange jerseys. And they were all on that side right there. I don't know what he's thinking. But overall,
It happens.
heck of a game from him. Made the plays when he needed to make them. Wish he could have gotten a little touch on that last ball, but it's okay. Marcus
Yeah,
Mariota overall, just the guts and the class I don't think, has there ever been a guy that's come and played for the team that our opinion of has grown so exponentially? Like when we signed him, we were like, goodness gracious, really? That Marcus
Especially when
Mariota?
he picked that number zero. I couldn't handle that. But
Pop lost sleep over that number zero, man. Um,
no,
but
he was a great signing. No question
yeah,
about it. And he hasn't won us very many games, especially this season. But that was a heck of an effort. Heck of an effort.
I would argue he's done enough to win us games more often than not, and I would include tonight in that. Like at the end of the day,
If the defense could have shown up sooner in the season, that's probably true.
yeah, at the end of the day, like there are so many moments, tonight just makes you kind of go, well, only one team can win, and the guy just made the play at the right time. But ultimately, um, otherwise, helmet stickers. Pops got Bobby Wagner on here, captain the defense, led the team in tackles, had that key interception. I'd agree. I think it was a great pick. Obviously, he was
You could
just, I mean,
feel the leadership from Bobby
yeah,
too. That's what I felt. Like I know that you talk about him and Zach, they're both a step slow at this point in their career, but you could just feel the leadership from him out there.
yeah, and they've got that pick. You got to wonder what he was thinking as that ball was coming to him. He had to have just been like, "Are you serious? Really?
Yeah,
Right? Okay,
but
I'll take it."
he was where he needed to be on
Yep,
that
he
play. They
was.
fooled
I
him.
mean,
They
he
fooled
didn't
him.
move. He didn't move from the time the ball was snapped. It's just Nick's just threw it right at him. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's not like he was baited. Nick's just, I don't know what he was thinking. But at the end of the day, man, he made that key pick, and got 8 tackles. 8 tackles is always good. And for my choice on the sauce award or helmet stickers here as well would be Jacob Martin. I thought he played a really good game. I thought he's consistently stepped up, been our best pass rusher this year. I wonder what could have been if you knew that you were going to get that from him with the other guys healthy. Like if you could rely on him while you had um, Armstrong and Wise available. If they were all available, I wonder what kind of could have transpired there because Armstrong had a ton of sacks. And then,
Deron played well. Jordan McGee flashed at times. Even Luvu
and you know
played
what?
played really well. So
I want to
there was a bunch of guys that could be in contention here.
I want to give a shout out to the DBs too because they held up. There was no crazy broken plays or big like
Well,
they
what a
did it.
hit by
They
Mikey Sanistro, huh?
Yeah, Savers still looks much better now. He's
Lit
playing
that
back
kid
in
up.
position. And Igbenogany and Jonathan Jones, I mean, look, their PFF grades aren't going to be great. They're fourth, fifth string guys, but to do what they did as
Fourth,
fourth, fifth
fifth
string
string,
guys, it's
second and
awesome.
third.
Dad, let's go. Let's do the math.
Jonathan Jones was in the rotation before he got hurt.
Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, Mike Samerstill, and
Yeah,
then number 4 is Jonathan Jones.
that's
Fourth,
not fourth string.
number
That's second string.
and number 5 is
That's second
is
string. You got three starters, and they each have backups. The backups to the starters are second string.
okay. Make of it what you will.
We'll make that. We'll
Or
have that argument
fourth,
another time.
fourth or fifth corner down the roster, if it
Gotcha.
makes you happy. All
Gotcha.
right. So good on them for performing the way that they did. You never wanted to be at a point where Noah Igbenogany was starting for this team at this
There's a lot
point
of
in the
people
season.
arguing that he should have
But
played more earlier on, but
I thought so too.
we'll
But
see.
what are you gonna do? At the end of the day, gutsy game from the boys.
You
I
left
almost
out
said
Treylon
gutsy win.
Burks.
Oh
We were going
yeah,
to
goodness
just for
gracious.
it's one catch, but about as good a catch as you're ever going to see.
I was ready
So
to
he
give him
gets one.
the sauce award. I thought this was going to be another thrown away lost game. I was like, let's just give Burks the sauce award. What an incredible catch. And he continues to make plays, man. I really hope they can kind of develop him now that they've got this starting wide receiver group out there. Um, I don't need to see Noah Brown play any more football. Just let Burks hunt
Yeah.
at this point in the year, man. let him go and see if you got a guy in house that's worth keeping around for next year.
Agreed.
But I say we wrap this thing up, Pop. What do you say?
It is 12:42 a.m. on East Coast time,
Goodness
Monday
gracious.
morning,
How about the
after a
grit
long
from
weekend.
Pop?
It's
How
gonna be
about
a
the
rough.
grit from Pop?
It's gonna be a
It's
rough
gonna be
one.
a rough day tomorrow. I can't sugarcoat that. But let's wrap this thing up. Without further ado, I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Thank you for another great week, everybody, and hail to the Commanders.
Yeah.